As you guys can see from step 1 of this video, all you need to do is get a cake box mix, and you're just gonna make the cake like normal. So you'll follow the instructions on the back of the box to see everything you need for the cake part. Then you will follow the baking instructions, and then we're about to pop this bad boy in our glass pan and then put it in the oven. Okay guys, so continuing our process, I am just gonna take half of the cake, not the full cake. So I went ahead and just cut it right down the middle, and then I'm just gonna take pieces of this. Normally I would, carve out the edges, that way it's not super crunchy, but I'm just gonna go ahead and place my cake in here. So I'm gonna save this, have ice it like normal just to save for later. So now all we need to do is we're going to take our cake, and then we're literally just gonna crumble it up with our hands into fine crumbs. This is honestly therapeutic. So this cake, it was extra moist, so as you can see, as I'm finally, crumbling these pieces, it already kind of molds together. So I may not have to add as much icing as I'm used to, but we'll see. So normally I would do 2 tablespoons of icing. I'm choosing to just use vanilla. So let's see. So I want to add just 1 at a time. That way I don't overdo it and then it just become all mushy, and nobody wants that. So let's just take a tablespoon of icing, plop it into our crumbs. I have an extra spoon just to get some of this out. So then we're just going to take our finely, crumpled up crumbs and mix it with our icing. So it can get kind of messy, but you gotta lock in and, form the cake balls. I ended up only needing 1 tablespoon of the icing because, as you can see, my cake is starting to form itself to be like dough almost. So how I gauge what size of my cake ball I want, I got this little, I think it was called a cookie scoop. I don't think it's an ice cream scoop, from Michael's. So I usually just take 1 or 1.5 of these. So I got a good amount in here. I'm gonna put it in my hand. This is the tedious part of this whole process, just because it's the part that takes the longest. So now I'm just gonna roll this up into a ball in my hands, use my fingers to mold it into the perfect round ball that I'm looking for. And then my ball, I am going to place on my parchment paper. So there's one. That honestly might be kind of big. So we'll do another one. Take it in the scoop, put it in my hands, roll it around. Use your fingers to mold. And then you're gonna plop it on your parchment paper. I did want to use yellow candy melts just because I wanted, a vibrant spring color. Today is Easter, so I did want to make sure I had a, festive and vibrant cake pop. So for melting the candy melts, I have to use this Wilton candy melting pot because for the life of me, I just could not get the microwave method. So all I'm gonna do is take some of these candy melts, place them into my melting pot, get it to a good consistency, and then dip my treat sticks. That way they can set into my cake rounded balls. All right, so I'm using my Wilton melting pot to melt the candy melts. I chose again to go with the color yellow. So all I'm gonna do is take these treat sticks. I went ahead and bought these right here from the Dollar General. I think they were like $1.25 for 50. that was a pretty good deal. In the past, I have gotten the Wilton brand, you know, lollipop treat sticks. I'm sure both of them will work fine, so I am gonna go with these. So all I'm gonna do is dip my stick into the candy melt, because this part right here is just how, you know, the stick is gonna form to the cake ball. So I'm just gonna take this and plop it right inside my cake pop. Stick it about maybe 2/3, or not 2/3, so 1/3 into the cake ball. So I'm gonna take this, do the same exact thing. I watched so many videos on how to best melt the candy melts, because y'all, I was struggling, let me tell you, with the microwave method. So I'm so glad I found this at Target on clearance for literally $12. And it has just made my life so much easier when it comes to these. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this. I'm just gonna do the same process for all 12. Okay, so all of the treat sticks are placed inside the cake balls, and now I'm just going to stick these into the refrigerator for about 10-15 minutes. That way everything can, you know, just seal together and it can start getting cold. That way when I go to dip it completely in the chocolate, why do I keep saying chocolate, in the candy melts, that it'll just all work smoothly. All right guys, so my candy melts have started to melt great. So I want to make sure I have a good consistency. So to check that, I'm just going to take my fork and, you know, lift it up and then make sure that it slides right off the fork. So that's what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to take this and pour it into this, you know, wide rimmed cup. That way it's going to be easy to dunk the cake pops for full candy coating. Okay, so we're gonna take cake pop. I'm going to dunk it right in. My hands are washed, you know, during this global pandemic. Of course, you want to be sanitary, so I don't have on gloves, but I did wash my hands. My sister is watching Ozarks in the background, so if you hear anything, that's what it is. All right, y'all, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dip the rest of these, and then I may add a decoration at the end. So stay tuned, stay tuned for the end result. Okay, so here we have the finished product. So I did use yellow. I wanted, you know, a pop of color for spring. I put them on this plate that says Hello Spring. I hot glued this little styrofoam piece to it just so they would stand upright. So I'm very satisfied with my cake pops. I know they're gonna taste delicious. I was going to drizzle a little bit of pink design on the top, but I kind of just like the yellow. You ready? Thank you guys so much for tuning into my cake pop tutorial. So again, I'm a beginner at this. I watched a million videos on YouTube and I think I finally got the hang of it, still trying to make them prettier. But thank you guys for tuning into my tutorial. So these little spring cake pops for Easter today. He is risen. So everybody stay safe out there. Make sure you're practicing social distancing, wash your hands, all of the above. And see you next time.